give them the opportunity then to have a job. Ready for the best part? 60% of the people in Los Angeles that are experiencing homelessness,
Yeah.
they're ready. No, they're not from California. They've been brought here by NGOs that profit off of this homeless industrial complex, Medicaid.
Wait. They've been brought here?
They've been brought here.
Who did that?
Body brokers bring these people here
From where?
all across the country. If you're an addict, you can come to LA and get these rehabs and use your Medicaid. You have a social security.
It's also, if you're going to be, shall we say, outdoors your whole life, it's better to be here than in Minneapolis.
100%.
You know,
So a lot of
I
these
think that's
people,
part of the attraction. I don't know if this is a big plot.
No,
Do you think this is a big...
There's a big part where this is, like I talk to these people who are now sober, off fentanyl, off meth, and they say they got literally brought here through a rehab, trying to get off drugs. Their money runs out, boom, left on the street. This is multiple stories of this. So
Boy,
that's...
That Tim Waltz, he never stops being evil.
So...
A fucker. Sending the fucking people...
I don't know what state they're from exactly, but they're not from LA. So again, whether they go to this amazing facility that we have that has all these resources for treatment, not let you die in your feces on fentanyl, but you may want to go back to Oklahoma and we help facilitate getting you, now that you're sober, you probably have a mom, you probably have a cousin. If you don't, I was in South Central.
You know, I'm happy that somebody else is now talking about this because I've been saying that for quite some time. And I would have thought it was quite obvious, right? That the reason why the homelessness issue hasn't been fixed is because people are being paid. People are being paid to so-called fix it. It's never going to be fixed until the people that are fixing it are no longer paid to do so. Because now there's an incentive to keep it going. Duh. That's why you can spend billions upon billions of dollars on this issue, and it seems like it hasn't even gotten better. As a matter of fact, it's gotten worse. It's because people are being paid to do so. Why would I get rid of the way that I feed my family? You know, that's just basic survival. Like, you're going to slow walk everything. You're going to make sure that there's red tape, right? So-called red tape. Yeah. Homelessness won't end until people aren't paid to do so. Just saying. But I've been saying that for quite some time, and some of you that have been watching for a while know that. I've been saying that. So for him to say that, I was like, oh wow, it's even deeper than I thought. You know, some of these nonprofits are literally shuttling people to California so that they can make more money. It's crazy and quite disgusting. But we got to talk about Spencer Pratt once again. Obviously, we have the election. I believe it's tomorrow, if I remember correctly. But if not, it's coming up here shortly. And a recent poll actually showed that he was up. Granted, by like a half of a point, but still up. Not even running as a Democrat in LA. That's quite impressive. So it seems like he is going to at least make it to the runoff, where he'll probably face off against Mayor Karen Bass, and that'll be quite interesting to see who actually comes out on top with that. We shall see. I hope it's Spencer Pratt. You know, I've never been to LA ever a day in my life. And, you know, if he were to become mayor and clean up the streets, I may be willing to go. I may be willing to take a trip to LA. But, yeah, I want to play this clip of Spencer Pratt and, you know, Jake, Democrat Party spokesperson, Tapper. Because, of course, you know, Jake Tapper, being who Jake Tapper is, you know, a mouthpiece for the Democrat Party, a shill for the Democrat Party, I should say, he tries to get Spencer Pratt caught up. And the way that Spencer Pratt operates is absolutely masterful. And I think that all Republicans should be taking notes. Because one of the only other Republicans that I've ever seen do anything like this is Uncle Trump himself. And I feel like there's a lot of Republicans who like have this idea that only Trump can do stuff like this. And it's like, no, anybody can. It's just Trump is just natural at it. right? That's why it's so smooth when it comes off of his tongue. But hey, if you work at it, you can get good at it too. And that's one of the things that Spencer Pratt seems to be good at. So I want to jump into it and check it out. So here we go.
And that's what I represent.
So you are new to politics, and there's a lot of people don't know about you. I know you've been criticized for, in the past, having gone on the Alex Jones show. Our K-File investigative team was interested when they heard that, because some of your critics have been talking about that. And it's interesting. In a series of tweets back in July 2019, you praised this film, or films rather, 2009, I should say. Back then, you praised Loose Change. That's a series of conspiracy films central to the 9/11 truther movement, alleging that the attacks on 9/11 were an inside job. You wrote, quote, "Anyone who can watch that and not see the truth is blind." Now, around the same time of these posts, you went on Alex Jones' show, and you suggested 9/11 was an inside job. Take a listen.
What about government-sponsored terror? What about 9/11? What about governments staging terror attacks? Is 9/11 an inside job from your research?
Not from my research, but from your research, it 100% is, because I can't even believe that it took me seeing your film to know about Building 7. How did that not hit the mainstream media?
Do you still think that 9/11 was an inside job?
What I've learned, almost 20 years later, is it's actually the negligence of the people in power. I would have loved to have gone along with when my house burned down and my parents' house burned down, everyone saying it was lasers, it was a land grab, it was just like Maui, but it's not. The reality is people in charge fail us as taxpayers. And when you're listening to that audio, that's a 21, 22-year-old person. I'm now 42 and have experienced city negligence, state negligence. And I've learned a lot about it. It's actually worse than a conspiracy. It's that we have people in charge that make mistakes that get people killed. So unfortunately, I was young and naive to understanding how there is people that will fail citizens across the board. And I would have to go back and look at all that. I haven't watched any of those things in 20 years or whatever. But I bet now, with my fresh eyes of surviving the city's negligence that burned 12 people in my neighborhood alive, 7,000 structures, and seeing how fast the internet was said that was a conspiracy, and how I had to be like, no, this is how it happened, this, and this. Now with new fresh eyes, I'm sure I would look at that a lot different. I think anytime we see something that's just so shocking and unbelievable, we as humans want to try to find excuses, but sometimes the excuses are just real simple. People failed us as taxpayers.
So that interview was...
Well done. Well done. Did not let Jake the Snake Tapper walk him into a trap. Beautiful. Beautiful. And let all Republicans out there take notes. Don't let these liberal outlets, and I know you got to go on them to get some more name recognition, whatever. I get it. I prefer to never go on the CNNs or the MSDNCs personally, but I get why it's a good thing to do, just for name recognition and a little more notoriety. But don't let them walk you into traps like that. Don't let them do that. Okay? Do your research. You know about you. You know the things you said. You know the things you've done. Be prepared for it. They're going to try to throw you under the bus at every single turn because you're a Republican, and be prepared for it. Don't do the same thing that these Democrats do when they're walked into a corner and basically give a non-answer or talk in circles or just basically don't say anything at all. Or like who was that recently in the governor's race? Was it Javier Becerra? Some of you guys may remember this because I made a video on it. He literally got into the interview, and before the interview had started, he basically asked the reporter, hey, these aren't going to be a bunch of gotcha questions, right? As if to say, hey, you better throw me a softball interview. But that's the type of treatment that they're used to having, right? They're used to being able to go through interviews and have them be softball interviews and softball questions. So be prepared, ladies and gentlemen. Be prepared and do as Uncle Trump and Spencer Pratt have done. Don't let them own you. You own them, okay? You own them. I know Jake Tapper was real pissed off when he didn't get the answer that he wanted in this segment. He didn't get the gotcha moment that he wanted. Spencer Pratt took control. I love it.
And unbelievable. We, as humans, want to try to find excuses, but sometimes the excuses are just real simple. People failed us as taxpayers.
So that interview was in 2009. You were almost, it was in July 2009, so you were almost 26 years old, just to be clear. Do you regret saying that? I mean, do you now accept that 9/11 was because of al-Qaeda terrorists, not because of an inside job by the U.S. government?
Well, no, again, what I'm saying is I believe a lot of people failed to allow the al-Qaeda terrorists to get in. So I think the negligence in government allowed, not on purpose, but just failures. They didn't burn my house down on purpose. They just failed. And again, everything I've done in the past, I was learning. I'm not perfect. I didn't run to be mayor because I was some perfect past. I ran because there was no other fighter to stop corruption now. I was happy just living my life, feeding hummingbirds with my 2 kids, taking them to school. This was not, I didn't have this life to become one of these career politicians where I didn't make mistakes. I wasn't human. I didn't say dumb or stupid things for 20 years in a very public light. So, regret, of course I have 20 years of regret. I've talked about how many regrets, but that doesn't connect to my mission now. Once you lose everything, once your parents lose everything, once your neighbors lose everything, you become a new person. The person I am now is very different than the person before January 7th. So.
All right. L.A. mayoral candidate Spencer Pratt, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, you didn't give us the answer we wanted. We're going to kick you off the air. Bye. You're supposed to fall into our trap, and then I'm going to keep you on the air and keep embarrassing you. Not today, not today, not today. Shout out to Spencer Pratt, man. Listen, like I said, I hope he wins. Is it a bit of a long shot? Yes, if we're being realistic. We know how crazy these leftists are. I literally came across a video clip the other day of some leftists. I don't even remember who it was. But the chick was basically talking about how, they needed to vote for Karen Bass and Nithya Raman so they could make sure that 2 Democrats were running against each other, and then from there they could discuss, the best path forward on how to get things done. And it's like, so you're gonna vote for the same thing you already have? How does that even make any sense? You're recognizing that there are massive major issues. And you're recognizing that the people that you're voting for are the same people that are currently in office. And you're saying you're going to vote for those same exact people because you want to fix the problem. Yeah. It's like when Democrats were out here saying Kamala Harris was going to do X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, she's in office now. Why doesn't she get it started now? Well, she's not the president, but she's the vice, and she could put some pressure on Joe Biden. She could make a public statement about certain things in X, Y, and Z, and that could put some pressure on Joe Biden to do something, executive order or anything. Well, Trump is a Nazi. Man. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you all. Masterclass in how to answer the gotcha questions as a Republican. Absolutely love it. So y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Who do you think is going to be? Is there somebody that you think that's kind of bubbling? Maybe they've been posting about politics here or there. Is there anybody that you think is going to come out of nowhere and kind of be the next Trump, so to speak? Obviously, nobody can be Trump, but you guys know what I mean. Kind of be that next figurehead. Or do we already have him? Is it Marco? Is it J.D. Vance? Although I have heard a rumor that J.D. Vance isn't going to run in 2028. We'll see if that's even true. I have no clue. Honestly, I saw it once and haven't seen it since, so maybe it was just something fake. I don't know. I'm not saying it as if it's the gospel. I'm just saying I have seen it. Y'all let me know. Somebody random? It's going to come out of nowhere and be the next one, or is it Marco or J.D. Vance or Trump Jr.? Who will it be? Let me know. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.